Hello, I'm Paul.
I'm Adam.
And I'm Ben.
And welcome to the Film Busters podcast. The film show with no filters, no prisoners taken, loads of disagreements, but one hell of a love for cinema.
If you want to hear three friends ridiculing each other for an hour or so regarding their taste in films, then you have come to the right place.
In each episode, one of the team picks a film for us to discuss. It could be anything from a recent cinema release to an all-time classic.
So, strap in and get ready to get mad or get vindicated as we guide you through the murky world of being a film geek.
If you like what you hear, you can also find us on Twitter and Instagram using @FilmbustersPod. You can also find each of our individual accounts. I'm at Filmbusters Paul.
I'm at Filmbusters Adam.
And I'm at Filmbusters Ben.
If you want to use your eyes instead of your ears, you can also visit the website at filmbusterspod.co.uk.
And if busting makes you feel good, you can also support us at patreon.com/filmbusters for exclusive content.
Or shoot over and get some groovy merchandise at society6.com/filmbusters.
Alright, can we just get on with this now, please?
Filmbusters. Hello everyone and welcome back to Filmbusters.
It's been a long time.
It's been a while, hasn't it?
What was our last episode?
Melancholia.
Yeah, and that was, what was it, like a year ago?
Yes, it was.
And now England are in the final.
Yes.
Hey,
and when
you were
you're
the first one
to
to bring it up.
I thought I'd be the one to bring it up so that I didn't have
and
to
when you're listening
sigh.
to this, we could have won it by then.
This is
I don't know when Paul's going to release this.
It will definitely be released after Sunday, so yeah.
Yes,
we've either won it or we haven't.
I'm gonna go 3, 2, 1, and I want you to say your positive reaction if we won, and I'm gonna say 3, 2, 1, and you got to do your negative reaction if they're lost, and then I'm gonna put in the one that actually is true.
Okay,
here we go. 3, 2, 1.
It's coming home.
I'm not doing the song though.
No, it would have already come home, Adam. This is the positive one.
Home.
Has it come home?
Home.
Okay, imagine it's come home.
It's come home.
Don't just do that horrible song. I hate that everyone always sings that it's coming home. It's fine at times, but when people
it's the only one people
mindlessly chant it along, it's so fucking annoying. Everyone says it's coming home at the drop of a hat. It's coming to play. Oh, mate.
Let's have some personality behind our words, okay? Ready?
Yes.
Yeah.
This is the positive. 3, 2, 1.
Yay, we won.
I can't believe it. In my lifetime, I didn't think I would see it, and now it's actually happened. We've got a trophy.
It may never happen again.
Well, it's not the big one. Next year, we have to go for the even bigger one and go for the World Cup.
But I'll take
this.
the Euros.
This was
I'll
the little
it.
trophy. We'll go for the big one next year.
I just want to say that I'm not into football, but I'm very happy. I'm so glad that it's made you.
Did you
really
watch the final, Paul?
And I didn't watch the final myself. No.
You didn't watch it?
I just want to say that I'm glad that this happened for you, and I'm glad this has happened in your lifetime, and that you can relish in this moment.
That's nice. Did you like it when Sterling scored, Paul?
What, a pound coin?
Yes.
Yes, when the pound coin scored.
The boy from Brent.
We're alienating all our Australian American listeners with this stuff.
Okay, this is a negative one. 3, 2, 1.
And I knew that would happen.
Yeah.
England will always let you down in the end.
The Italian midfield is way too superior.
The defensive lines of the Italians is a joy to behold. I was watching them in the preceding games, and it's like when you look at the way they line up that defence, it looks impossible to break down. And obviously it was, because we just lost that very big game, and I'm disappointed. But it was a fun ride along the way.
We enjoyed it. My voice is croaky because we enjoyed it too much.
Yes.
I'm very sorry that you boys were let down so much.
I know.
Thanks. You secretly put the juju on it, didn't you?
I'm sorry that Sterling didn't score.
Sterling came so close at that one point.
This is only a joke because the other one's been cut out. It doesn't make sense.
Oh, God. What do you mean it cut out?
Because I'm putting in the one that...
Oh, yeah, you're only putting in the good one.
I think you should put them both in, Paul.
Okay.
Yeah.
I did see a brilliant text that someone, their mum sent them, and it says, your dad is not calm right now. Even though he keeps shouting at the England players to calm down, he is not calm himself.
No. It's true. People shouting at their tellies, calm down, slow down for fuck's sake. It's like, what you're doing. You're shouting at a television screen.
Whether they did win or lose, I'm sure you had a great time along the way.
We did.
It was good. Got to see lots of family along the way, which was why I enjoyed it the most.
Is your uncle very happy with it all? Obviously, he's making loads of money back that he lost during the pandemic.
Well, I mean, yeah, obviously they're selling tables, which is good for them because they're getting full house all the time. But like he's all about the football, and yeah, he's loving it. And it's cool because I've seen. I was saying to Paul before we started recording, every time I go there, there's a different member of my family that I haven't seen in ages. So it's been great. And for the final, everyone is coming.
Good.
Which will be the first time in 2 years that everyone, my family, but including like their partners and everyone, are there.
Is it literally your wedding? Probably the last time then.
It was a couple of months after the wedding. We were all trying to work this out when we were there the other day. It was a couple of months after my wedding. I think it was actually when my uncle moved to this pub, when we last, literally all of us were together. But yeah.
Beautiful. I can appreciate the familial bond that football can bring.
It's
You should go
family,
watch it with
baby.
your family, Paul. And
I
you
will
can give your
not.
mummy a hug when
I will
England
not.
score.
I will hug her after the football game and be like, I'm glad you enjoyed it, but, you know.
Sweet Caroline.
You're not even going to let Woody watch it.
He can do whatever he wants.
Well, he's not going to turn on the TV, is he?
Well, he's not going to like it now, is he?
Yeah, but you can
He's,
say
in,
you
he's
were there
into
when you watched
he's
it.
into what he should be watching,
When we-
and that
when we
is
have to wait-
anything Marvel related.
When we have to wait 55 years to get to another final, you can say you were alive when the last one
That is
happened.
true, mate. Do you know what, Paul? Adam actually makes a good point there. Just so that he can say it, you actually should watch the final on Sunday with Woody, just so that if England do win it...
It may never happen again in
There'll
our
be
lifetime.
decades, exactly. Woody may live to be 100 and it never happen again, and he'll be able to say, I saw them win. I saw them when they
them in the
lifted
final.
that.
But this also depends whether he actually likes football.
Well, he's
I
got
know, he
Chelsea
probably
might
shirt.
not
will.
care.
He
His
probably
granddad
will.
likes football. He might grow up and like it in some place.
Okay, let's get away from this football talk, because we're not here for football today, are we? What film are we doing today?
Today we're talking about The Nice Guys, which is the 2016 film from Shane Black.
Is it 2016?
And yeah,
I thought it was like
2016.
2018.
No, 2016, mate. And you might as well kick it off. We might as well go straight onto the quiz because it is related to
It is
The
a
Nice
staple
Guys.
of every episode.
Yeah, it's the staple of every episode. If you don't know what it is, I ask Adam and Ben 2 questions every episode related to the film we're doing, which is The Nice Guys. If they get the question right, they get a point. If they get it wrong, I get the point. Adam, you're on 20 points. Ben,
Yes.
you're on 17 points. And I'm on 12 points.
Wow.
It's almost the year it came out, 2017. 2016.
It was 2016, but you know.
I guess
and
almost
there's the
the
12 on
It
the
might
end
have
as
been
well.
released in the cinemas in the UK in 2017.
Listen, we told the patrons in the last episode, but we got to apologise to all of you guys because we tried to find the time to record earlier, but schedules just haven't allowed. It's been a very busy time for everyone.
It's
So
football one, isn't there?
it's not even been that. It's not even the football hasn't been why we couldn't record because, mate, the football matches kick
We
off
record during
after
the day
we
as
normally
well, so-
record. Yeah. We've just been very busy with work lately,
Yes,
so we're
indeed.
sorry. We do try and provide you entertainment, but, you know, we don't work for you, so we'll do it when we're going to do it.
Should we move on to the first question?
Yes.
Right, here we go. Fingers on your voice boxes. Here goes Ben with his South Park impression.
What you got, biatch?
What was the name of the porn film Amelia was creating?
How'd you like my car, big boy?
18 points, Ben. Well done.
Yes,
Shit,
and do you know what,
well
Paul?
done.
That was the only thing in this film that I thought this is probably going to be the question he asks.
There we go. Well done.
I'm so glad you asked it.
Should go straight to the next one.
Yes.
Here we go. How much money does Healy offer March to find Amelia to the closest 100?
400.
Adam's got it right.
Yeah, but
He
hang
didn't
on.
have to try.
We should have both been allowed to have a guess.
He did. He said 400.
Yeah, and I might have said it.
That's the answer. He got it first.
Oh, hang on. I didn't know we were competing to be the quickest. I thought we both got a guess.
No,
I
he
think
said.
there should be
I
another
said to
question.
I said to the closest 100, and he said 400, and it was correct. So what
Yeah,
else could I do?
I thought that, but then I thought it might have been the other one. I might have got the characters' names confused, and it might have been later down the line. But yeah,
well,
it
that
was
was
that
the
one.
answer of the question. So
Well, I'm not happy with that. I thought I had a bit more time.
if Adam said 400,
I
what would
might
you
have
said?
I might have, if I'd racked my brain, I might have said, yeah, I say 400 too.
Yeah, but then you're
Wow.
just copying my answer. I could have just copied your answer in the last one and got it
I know,
right
but
as well.
if it come crashing
Are you
back
not
to me,
happy with this?
This wasn't
question?
we both.
I demand a new question personally.
I don't have another question, but I will try and find one.
No, forget it.
If
Give it
it
to
all
Adam.
depends on Adam, whatever Adam wants to do.
I wouldn't have said 400, would I? Adam got there first. I wouldn't have said 400. So the point is,
I don't know
Adam's
how
well
you
done.
think the question worked, Ben, because I could have said the exact same thing on the last question and still got a point for it.
No,
It was like first to get to the answer. I would
It's
have
always
said
been
no.
first to get to the answer.
I
He didn't
thought
say. The only reason he would have said is, "Oh, I'm going to let you both answer this, and then whoever's closest wins."
All
He
right,
didn't
I
say
thought
that.
it was. I thought it was because he said, and whoever gets it to the nearest 100
I did
gets
say
it.
to the closest 100 at the end.
I think he
So if-
wants.
so
I think he would.
if-
If we didn't get to 100, if we said like,
I would have given the point to someone, basically.
yeah,
Because see, Adam could have said 350, and then I could have said 450.
I'd have been correct because you went over and I went under. That's how it normally works.
Is that how it would have worked,
I
Paul?
don't think so. I would have said you both got it right.
No.
Okay. Very diplomatic over here.
Anyway, Paul, you can give the point to Adam. It's fine. I doff my cap. I'll catch him later in the year.
At least it's an even. It evened it out, so you both
Yes.
got a point.
Exactly.
Very
I'll
good.
catch him. I'll catch him later.
Okay, so 21 for Adam, 18 for Ben, 12 for me.
Paul is fiddling the quiz people.
What? Because I gave the point to Adam, who's winning.
Yes.
Very good.
So he's got skin in the game, clearly.
Yes, he's paid me off. I'm sorry.
Yeah. I know. Bribed, man.
How much
Cheats.
money did Adam give Paul?
to the nearest
Question wrong.
100?
400.
That was wrong, actually. You only gave me a fiver.
Cheap bastards.
Cheap. Right, before we move on to the main event, let's just talk about what we will be doing on the Patreon of this episode.
So on our Patreon today, we are going to be discussing our favourite double acts. That's the duos, the two leads that are on screen together, pretty much all of the movie, all the way through. We're going to tell you our favourite ones, basically.
Yes, our top 3. But yes, that's what we're doing, and you can join our Patreon at www.patreon.com/filmbusters.
Excellent. I hope you will join us over there.
Yes,
because we
please.
have stuff for you, and we have much more fun over there than we do on this show.
We have many episodes.
Yeah.
We have like probably about 15 hours worth of content on there at the moment.
That's right. And you can literally cough up $1 and get access to loads of it. You can cough
Indeed.
up the pound coin required to gain our Patreon.
The sterling gold.
Yes, that... You know that Sterling that did put in such a good showing on Sunday? Just give us one of those.
We'll be
every
very
month,
happy.
And we will be happy.
And if you join our Patreon, you can join the likes of Julio from the Contrarians.
Yes, you can. We can have him. We've got Jamie Russell there as well.
And we've also got Nerd Revert from Texas, baby.
Oh yes, and Katie and Oti from Australia.
Oh, from Australia, baby.
That was the worst Australian accent ever done.
I didn't even know you were going for Australian then.
It just came out like that. It wasn't even supposed to be an Australian accent, but it just came out like that when I said Australia. So yes, now let's move on very beautifully to the main event of Nice Guys.
Who is it?
Messenger service. Hollow March home? Mr. March, we're gonna play a game.
I think you have the wrong house.
It's called Shut Up Unless You're Me.
I love that game.
You're a private investigator?
Look, there's $20 in there, all right? Just take it.
No, I'm not here for that, I told you. I'm a messenger. You can afford to live like this as a PI?
What's the message?
Oh, right. Stop looking for Amelia. Right?
I'm not even looking for Amelia. She's a person of interest, man. Fine. I'm done. Put a fork in me. Don't really put a fork in me.
Amelia's gonna be very happy that you got the message so quickly. It's gonna make her smile. That's good. Now, I got one more thing I need to ask you before we're done here.
You want to know who hired me?
Bingo. Yeah. So we can do this the easy way. We can do it the hard
Glenn.
way. What?
Lily Glenn, 2 N's. Old lady hired me to find her niece on Tuesday.
You just gave up your plan.
I made a discretionary revelation.
No, you just gave her up. I asked her one simple question. You gave me all the
I
information.
thought that's what you wanted.
What? very sorry that you didn't get the message.
Me too. But I get it now. I get it. I dig it.
What about now? You get the message now?
Yep.
Are you sure?
Yeah, I'm cool.
All right. Give me your left arm.
Huh?
Your left arm. Give me your left arm. This one.
No.
Yeah, come on.
No. No.
Did you cut yourself?
I'm dealing with an injury.
Right. Look, when you're talking to your doctor, just tell him you have a spiral fracture of the left radius.
No. No.
Deep breath.
Right, everyone, today we're talking about The Nice Guys, the 2016 film from Shane Black. This is a spoiler episode. We'll go straight into spoilers, no hanging around, so if you haven't seen it, you will be spoiled immediately.
Wow.
But if you like that sort of thing, just stick around. You might hear something you like.
We
But
love to
firstly,
spoil people.
yeah, but firstly, Adam, you've got to do a very special and maybe shit plot summary.
Yes, so this film is about two detectives, one played by Ryan Gosling and one played by Russell Crowe, and they are trying to hunt down a missing girl called Amelia. And on their adventure to hunt down Amelia, they get into all sorts of bother and all sorts of adventures happen in this action comedy film.
You started off pretty strong and then you went weird, but you can always tell when you've enjoyed a film because you actually give a fuck when you do the review.
Well, some plots are just easier to do than others.
They get to in all sorts of adventure.
All sorts of adventure.
Very good. 10 out of 10 review there.
Thank
10
you.
out of 10 review. Here's a little bit of background. As Adam said, it is an action comedy with Ryan Gosling and Russell Crowe that was co-written and directed by Shane Black. Shane Black was also the director of These Boys, one of These Boys' very loved films, which I haven't seen, Kiss Kiss Bang Bang, Iron Man 3, and The Predator, apparently, which is not a shot in the arm. Shane Black was also an actor in the original Predator. Do you know that?
Yes.
Very peculiar. And he wrote all the Lethal Weapon films. So he's been about. He dips his toes in all the oceans, eh? But anyway, this is a dumb action comedy full of gags, fights, swearing, and it has filmmaking as its backdrop. There's lots of references within the film to the history of filmmaking. And Shane Black said it is as much a film about movie making and script writing as it is a thriller / whodunit. It was based on a novel, Blue Murder by Brett Halliday, and it was originally conceived as a television series, but they soon discovered it wouldn't work in that format due to the pacing of the story. So they decided, well, we'll turn it into a film, and instead of setting it in the noughties, as they were originally going to do, they decided to set it in the 70s. And the producer, Joel Silver, was very wary of the idea because he thought that audiences wouldn't really warm to a period film. Not that I think a fucking film set in the 70s is a period film. But because of the success of the Sherlock Holmes movie, he changed his mind, and the rest is history.
Really?
Yeah.
I mean, they're completely different periods of time.
I know. That's one of the dumbest things I've ever heard. The 70s. Oh, people don't like period movies. Sherlock Holmes did well. Oh, okay.
Yeah, that film was set like another 100 years before this.
I know. And Sherlock
That is
Holmes
odd.
was always set then. So I'm like, what do you want, man? Weird. Really weird.
Good bit of history, though.
Good
Nice.
bit of history. Yeah. Well, Adam, this was your selection this
Yes.
week. And you can select the orders, eh?
I'm going to make you go first, Ben, then Paul, and then me.
Okay. Well, you know that people who previously listened to the podcast are probably aware that in the past references have been made to the fact that these boys enjoyed a film and I didn't enjoy the film. That's probably not strictly true. So ultimately, this is where I land on The Nice Guys. I watched it years ago. It feels like years ago, and it just slid off me like water. I watched it. It happened. I took nothing from it. I moved on. Then, and it was like, oh yeah, that was fine. That's what I thought. But then I discovered that the entire internet adored it and were hailing it as this like masterpiece, comic masterpiece, and Ryan Gosling's never been better, and this is wonderful. And I'm like, I can remember very little of it, and this is true. Until I watched it again the other day, I could barely remember anything that happened in it, other than it didn't really have an impact on me. I didn't hate it. It was just like, it's forgettable. So going into this rewatch, it felt like, okay, this is cool because I'm going in fresh again. The story and plot felt new to me. So I watched it. I enjoyed it. I laughed. The credits rolled, and I give it a 7 again, just like I did last time. Why? Because it's a fine film. It has laughs. It's never dull, but that's it for me. It just washes off me right away. That's the issue. I like a film that sticks with you afterwards for some reason, and this didn't. I enjoyed it while I was in it along the way, but then once it was done, it was like, well, that's throwaway, and already it's kind of like, yeah, again, what happened? There wasn't enough in there for me. But there was good stuff in it. There was bad stuff in it. And like I said last time, it's not. I'm just joking when I said you boys better bring your case study as to why this is such a fucking amazing film. But I would be interested to find out why. For me, it's just yeah, that was good. But for you, particularly you, Paul, if I'm right with your rating, why it's not that you have to justify yourself, of course, but I want to discuss why we respond to it differently. So that's my review, 7.
Fantastic. I kind of saw that coming.
There you go.
Yeah.
I wasn't a dickhead about it, was I?
No. I kind of expected you just to like it. Yeah, that's it.
I thought you might have gone up to an 8, but I knew you probably weren't going to go beyond that.
What? Just for context, I know you said Jenny likes it.
Yeah.
How much does she like it?
I think she likes it a little bit more than me. Yeah.
Okay, so not majorly more.
No, not majorly more. Like when we finished the film, she says, "I know you don't like to do half ratings, but I would give that a 7.5." So
okay.
There you go.
Interesting. She never really rates films, does she?
Only in conversation. Sometimes she will. She doesn't like to, it's true, but
Yeah.
often she will give the number 7 to a lot of films.
7.5. She gave it a 15 out of 20.
She gave it an OT rating.
Yes,
OT
he did.
loves the halves.
He does.
Many people just go out of 5.
Yeah.
We like to do 10, and then people come along and and we're going to add halves into 10s. It's like, what?
It's like out of 20.
It is. Like, what even is that out of 5
I like a whole
stars?
number.
3.75.
Well, that's going for like a letterbox rating, if you do it that way.
That is true, yeah. Anyway, who's next?
It's me,
Paulie.
I think.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, I love this film so much. I think like the plot is like it's wound in such a way that it constantly keeps you guessing, which I love. I think it's incredibly smart, suave. I love the fashion of the film. I think that adds so much to my overall enjoyment. I like the 70s feel. I know you said that, Ben, about that being like a period. But I quite like the fashion of the 70s. I think it's quite cool, especially in film. I think the action is well played and can sometimes feel intentionally a little clumsy, which adds a little bit to the realism and it makes it a little bit more fun, and it's not too clean cut.
Yes.
And I like the violent too. The violent. I like the violence too. It doesn't pull its punches, and despite the levity, when like the shit hits the fan, it only helps like add weight to the situation. With like when someone just get killed off, like, oh shit, like I thought this was a funny film,
Yeah.
right? And then I think the soundtrack is perfect. The that like jazzy, the spy score just helps like cement the wonderful tone that it's going for. But of course, the film will be nothing without the comedic deadpan tone it has throughout. I laugh every single time I watch this film. It never ever loses its punch. Ryan Gosling's timing is exceptional, and granted, this is my sort of comedy anyway, which yes, you could be classed as like dumb and slapstick, but I think Holland March is the embodiment of my like perfect comedy character. He's like this down on his luck. He's a bit of a joke, a little simple, to the point that you can't help but like just fall in love with the character, which I do. And he's like the heart of the film. You just want him to succeed, even if sometimes he just doesn't help himself along the way, and he doesn't help himself a lot of the time in this film. And then you have like Russell Crowe as Healy, who literally like helps to ground the lunacy of it all, and he like helps to balance the scales when Holland's involved, and put him in his place a little, but also learn some humanity along the way, which is nice as well. And lastly, I think the payoff of some of the jokes in this film are phenomenal. especially the dream scene with the ankle gun. It makes me laugh so much whenever that happens. And this film's fucking perfect. It's 10 out of 10. I love it. Who's clapping?
That's me.
Oh, okay.
I will tell you this.
Yeah.
That's the best, not only the best response you could have had, but that's the best review you've ever put forward. Not review, best point of view you've ever put forward for a film, because even if I hated this film, I would find it hard to argue back to you on any of those points if you felt that way.
Oh, thank you. I put my heart into it.
You can tell.
Thanks.
Let's hear Adam do a really sexy one. I want to hear his a real sexy review.
Like some Marvin Gaye shit.
He's going to be whispering along the way.
Yeah.
I know he is.
Hey, do you remember the scene when it opened up? No, I agree with Paul.
Oh, yeah.
Paul on nearly everything he says. This film is just brilliant. The way it's set, like again, the 70s lend themselves so well to this film, and it helps it work. I can't imagine this film ever working in another decade as well now. And when you mentioned they're going to do it in the 2000s, it's like, no, I don't think it would have had the same effect, because you would have lost like the energy is all in the colours and how it all looks like that and all of that type of stuff. Again, the plot is ridiculous, but it's so clever and so intricate at the same time. The jokes in it are so, you watch it again and again, and it's one of those ones you can see other little jokes happening, or like you can watch it later on and you'll see that joke happen, and then it's got a better payoff than it did before. It is just the lunacy, it's the stupidity, and how this film just keeps going. And like I've watched this so many times, and every single time I watch it, I just love it a little bit more and a little bit more and a little bit more. And it's always one of those films. It's almost like Back to the Future in some ways. Is that if I watched it last week, I'm very happy watch it again this week, kind of thing. Maybe it's just isn't as intelligent as Paul's review, but I feel like he said a lot for me, and I give this film a 9 out of 10.
It was very intelligent. Look at this, we've both got claps.
That's like a Hollywood handshake in Bake Off.
We got the clap!
Should we just end this podcast now? We don't need to
nowhere
say
to go
anything
from
else.
here.
It's not. Let's just quit while we're ahead.
It's all we've been waiting for. We've all been waiting for Ben's approval.
Before
And
we go
got it.
on, have we ever had an instant where you two were so top end, as in 9-10, and I was not in that upper echelon?
Maybe it must have been
I don't think there's ever been a film yet where that's happened.
Probably not as extreme as this,
Recent.
no.
As in, like, you two being 9 and 10 between you, and then me being
7.
below an 8.
I'd really have to go through our films.
It's happened before when me and Paul liked Midsummer and Adam didn't, so that's
Yes.
happened before on that front. It's happened for... It's happened for me and... No, has it happened for me and Adam? I don't... Yeah, me and Adam with Goal, and
Yeah.
you, Paul, and then I think this is your... So, Midsummer, Goal, and now The Nice Guys.
I'm pretty.
They're the
It must
three
have happened at
films
some point.
that
Maybe when we were
split
doing the cinema
Filmbusters.
films.
I don't think so. I don't remember rating up too high that the others didn't rate. Anyway,
I'm
but that's
having
beside
a little
the
look
point.
on our films. I don't think it's ever happened before.
There you go.
No.
Interesting.
So now
is
we
the
all have
first.
one each. There's been one each.
There we go.
So
Fantastic.
remembering the venom that Adam had for Midsummer, and remembering the staggering indifference that Paul had for Goal, remember now how I'm going to be.
He's coming in sour. I got to agree with Adam about when you come back and you rewatch this film, I find myself laughing before the joke has even paid off, because I'm thinking ahead, like, oh my god, I can't wait for that bit to happen because it's just so funny. And there's so many like little Gosling is so good in this film because there's little throwaway lines. Literally, I think every single line he does in this film could almost be like a comedy punchline.
This was his
And
first
it-
film
and, like, you
back,
just-
wasn't it? After he took that break.
Say again?
It was the first film he did after like a 3-year break, wasn't it?
Oh, I don't even know.
I didn't even know he took a break.
No, it didn't
There
even
was
die.
like a gap, but I'm pretty sure he had no films for like 2 years, and he came back and he did this in La La Land.
Well, he'd been building up all his acting energy, and he unleashed it. It was fucking great.
Now, see, people like people like Gosling in this because he's comedic, which he hadn't really done before. He normally did that very still, stony-faced character, and that's fine. And he is good in this. He is funny in it. I think they milk it a little too much. Like he shrieks a few too many times. Like first once or twice is kind of funny, but then he shrieks and he's very shrill too much. And also his sort of the stupidness, like what you were saying, Paul, about maybe it is a dumb, stupid comedy, and that's why I like it. I don't think it is. I think it is quite clever, but they prolong his stupidity to a point where it becomes annoying, like when he's suckered in by the woman and goes there to carry the bag for her, and even after that he's still seduced by her, and when he's rocking up to bars and stuff and he's constantly getting drunk, and it's like, you were professional a minute ago, now you're just going to be comic relief and extend ridiculously so.
I get that.
But I still thought he was great in it, but I think I would rather, this was good, but I would rather see him do some other drama than do too much more of this.
That isn't. Yeah, I feel like I probably wouldn't want him unless they're going to do a sequel. I'd be up for a sequel.
They were going to do a trilogy of them, I think,
Yeah.
because at the end of it they do set it up. But apparently this film didn't do well enough for.
Yeah, it just didn't go anywhere, did it?
Yeah.
But I wouldn't necessarily want him to go. I think he's great in his serious roles as well, but I wouldn't necessarily want him to go into comedy because this is a very specialised character that I enjoy, like this kind of comedy.
Yeah.
Whereas if it goes into Steve Carell kind of Will Ferrell comedy, it's like it doesn't do it for me.
It's
because
just like
this is
Brad Pitt in Burn
smart.
After
It
Reading
is smart
for you, and I feel like this is. I watched this film as you kind of watched Burn After Reading as well.
I was, yes, when it got to the end of this film, I was like, I know why Paul likes this, because I can't quite put my finger on in what ways it is like it, but it did feel very Burn After Reading. This was better. This was much better in my opinion, but I could feel the similarities. And you know what it is, actually? I've just figured it out. It's that sort of, well, all of this is for nothing with what has been accomplished. Because by the time you get to the end, they didn't actually really succeed with anything. No one really went down. There was just everything carried on, just like the end of Burn After Reading, which was good. I like that element of it.
Talking of Gosling again, you said you felt like he overplayed it in some ways. Firstly, I don't.
I don't think he overplayed it. I think the way he was written.
Yes, yeah, like the jokes.
He did well with what he had.
Yeah. I sometimes wonder how this would do with another actor in the role. Whether I love it because of Ryan Gosling, because of he's known for these serious roles, or
if it was Jim Carrey, how would you feel?
I don't know.
See, it wouldn't. I wouldn't be
a
as
different
impressed.
type of comedy.
I don't think. Yeah, it's like I feel like it feels fresh because it's Ryan Gosling.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
It's exciting as well.
Yeah. And that's why I kind of feel like, well, maybe it must be him. It must be him the reason I enjoy it so much. But when you say some parts are overplayed a bit, there's one scene that always, like, I pretty much love every part of this film. There's no point where I go, that didn't really work well for me, apart from this one moment where he finds the dead body laying against the tree, and he's sitting up there. He's sitting there on the tree, and Russell Crowe's calling down to him, and he's trying to tell him there's a body there, and he's doing that noise like,
yeah.
And I was like, this didn't really. Mostly the comedy normally comes across quite natural. Like,
yes.
It come up naturally, where that didn't feel natural to me.
Well, that's interesting that you say that. Now, the reason for that is because that scene is him doing a sort of like honourable mention reference to Abbott and Costello, because in Abbott and Costello that used to happen when Frankenstein would appear, or the Wolfman or something. I can't remember which one it is. It's Abbott or Costello would do that whole that thing, and it works in the 1920s and the 1930s.
Yeah.
The whole build-up to that is great, though, when he's got his lighter.
It's the build-up to it is framed very well. Do you know who that body is?
Who?
Do you know, Paul?
As in, like, who the character is, or who
the actor is?
Oh, no.
Robert Downey Jr.
Is it?
Is it?
Yeah, they put a fake beard on him as well.
Holy shit.
I told Jenny that, and she was like, why? What, just like, why
would they get him to do that?
What's the point?
Kiss Kiss Bang Bang, isn't it?
Oh, yeah.
The link.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
Is Val Kilmer in it as well, then?
No, probably not. Val Kilmer's probably very ill at this point. I'd say
Is he not very well?
No, he's not very well.
he's had throat cancer.
Has he? I never knew that. That's a shame.
On a
Yeah.
side note, I saw him the other day putting on the Batman mask,
Oh yeah,
and yeah, I was like, what is going on with him? I didn't realise he had gone through all that, but yeah, he looks unwell. I felt very sorry for him.
Speaking of him, actually, he's just releasing a documentary on Prime, I think it is.
Yeah.
And it's just all about his life.
I wish he would. I'm not interested.
I kind of want to see it.
I
know
don't
you
think.
really care for
I've
him.
never seen him in anything that I thought he was good at.
Let's get back to Nice Guys. Talking about that scene, oh, I laugh every fucking time when the girl's dressed as the Indian. He's like, "I'll be a cowboy. Shoot me."
Oh man,
And he falls off the balcony. It's
That is
fucking
funny.
So funny, man. So good. And the girl's like looking at him. That is a very good piece of acting from that woman as well, because the way she's looking down, it's a very, very honest drunk portrayal. And she's looking down like, oh, this guy's falling. And then she kind of just gets distracted and walks away. And it was like, it felt so natural. I really enjoyed it.
Do you reckon everyone just got drunk?
Maybe. You never know. But I always think of that. I think that the woman plays that role very well, whoever she is.
I'm not going to disagree with you on the things that are funny and stuff. He is funny, and yes, everything looks good, and it makes sense for it to be in the 70s to give it that look and everything. But that's what I mean. That works when you're in it. You know what I mean? You've seen these films, that when you're in it, you're like, oh, I'm enjoying this. And I did.
Yeah.
There was never a point in the film where I was like, I'm not enjoying this. I enjoyed it. But it's then, it didn't have that nothing lingers. The reason is there is no deeper layer to any of it. And I'm not talking about, oh, give me some hidden meaning or be saying something else, but give me something a little profound. Give me a little edge. It was just like, this thing, I think it's interesting that Shane Black says that this is also like a movie about movie making, because I think you're bigging yourself up a bit too much there, because
Yeah, he's trying to toot his own horn for no reason, really.
he is, because like I get it with things like, okay, you've got Kim Basinger and Russell Crowe in the same film in the 70s, so it makes you think of LA Confidential, but that's not, that's really having to try and connect dots, and it's like all you're doing by saying this is a film about movie making is making me think about other films that it's like, but it's not quite as good at. I liked Russell Crowe's I liked Ryan Gosling's character, but he became a little bit unlikable by the end. Russell Crowe, I was just a bit cold on throughout. Everything kind of looked beautiful. Things were very grand, good production, good, all that colour. But I kind of just, by the end, it leaves me
I will
cold.
agree with you that on Ben. Every time I rewatch this film, I'm like, why don't I give it a 10 out of 10? Why don't I give it a 10 out of 10? And when it comes to the end, I'm a bit like, okay, that is why I can't really put my finger on it as such, but I feel like there's something at the end that just lets it down. I don't know if it runs out of steam, if the plot goes a little bit too silly when they're all fighting.
Yeah, I would
However,
say
it's probably the best moment in the film when he's sitting on that car stand and it spins round.
It spins around.
Yeah, that's clever. I think the bit of the film that I enjoyed the least is probably getting towards the end. There was good stuff once they're at that car show, but there's also bad stuff. Like, what I don't get is why John Boy gives a fuck about that film being shown. He is a hitman. He doesn't care about that fucking film being shown. So why all of a sudden in the middle of that car show is he like, it's still in the projector? Like, who are you talking to? Just go and kill the people you were paid to kill. That's all you're there to do. What
He might have
you've
been
changed
paid to stop the film from being shown.
But he wasn't, though, was he? He was just meant to.
How do you know?
It kind of goes hand in hand with generally the fact that I think the plot, even though I'm aware it's not really about the plot, but the plot wasn't very. You said you thought it was quite clever. I didn't, because it was like this is silly. This is make no sense. Like, because of this perfume thing and this porno, none of this really adds up.
I think the thing of it is that he tries to make. He does this with Kiss Kiss Bang Bang as well, and the way that you feel is probably the way that I feel about that film a little bit. Is he tries to wrap quite a simple plot, and he tries to wrap it up in like some misleading stuff and some confusing stuff to make you kind of not get the ending before the ending comes around, and it makes it feel a bit messy and a bit like, oh, so why did we have this whole story just for that to be the ending? And that's how Kiss Kiss Bang Bang was for me.
Right.
Whereas this, I can't. Whether it's the characters that brought me along in the story, I love this so much more than Kiss Kiss Bang Bang for that. But I get it. I can get it, because with Kiss Kiss Bang Bang, when I get to the end, I almost go, so how did we get to that ending?
I've only ever seen it once, and I don't remember
I
it well.
can see people doing the same thing in The Nice Guys, where it starts off with this porn star, and they find this girl, and this old lady who's trying to find the girl, and then it's like, I'm trying to find where the link is.
Yeah.
In this story, like, how is this? And then it ends up being because these cars are faulty and they don't want them to let them out, and they're just letting it pass. And it's like, so how did we get there?
Yes.
But
it always makes a bit more
sense
sense when you watch the film. Though there's little things that they do that link it up a bit better, but that is effectively the film.
Yeah, but I've watched it quite a few times now, and I know the plot, so that doesn't really bother me, because I know exactly how it's going to play out, but I enjoy the journey along the way. Whereas Kiss Kiss Bang Bang, I enjoy the journey, but the plot doesn't deliver for me. And that's the difference between those films. But they're exactly the same. The pacing and the way the story's wrapped up are exactly the same. But it must be that, I mean, there's a little bit of like over-sexualization of this woman in Kiss Kiss Bang Bang as well, which I don't like, but...
There is definitely the point that you're saying there about when you were like, yeah, but how does this link up? How does this add up? It puts me in mind of what I was thinking about this film. One of the things I didn't like was the slight sexualization of women, and okay, it's about porn, so you're going to have a bit of that. But that opening scene with the kid when she comes crashing through in the car, and the kid's just seen her in the magazine, and then he sees her splayed across the car with her tits out. I was like,
no need for that.
I couldn't remember that, and when I saw it, I was like, "Oh right, so this must be staged, and it must have some meaning." The fact that she's splayed out like a porn star on the car, and then says the name of the porno, and it's like, but no, it didn't. Why? Why would she? Why was she splayed out like that on display? And why did she say the name of the porno?
I don't think it needs it. I agree.
But generally, I found that there was a lot of things like that along the way in the plot line when it came to that film, and like the grandma seeing the one, and I was a bit like, yeah, even if you can stitch all this up, I don't really care.
Did you? There wasn't much other sexualization apart from that one scene, was there?
There was with the women at the party.
Oh right, yeah. But then
but it is a porn star party, so it kind of does work with what they're going for, but.
They also they went too much with Gosling at that party. By having him, you could tell that he was going to jump in with the mermaids, but it was like, I don't like that because that's stupid.
Yeah, but it's funny though.
It is funny.
Yeah, but see, this whole stupid humour thing, fine if that's your thing. But this film wasn't being stupid humour 80% of the time, and then 20% of the time it did.
I think that's why it works well for me, because it's the same with. It's like I think that's the difference between watching Naked Gun and watching this, because the stupid humour is wrapped up in a decent plot and a serious plot, so that I think that makes it a nicer package, a more presentable package for me, and I enjoy that more than just seeing a whole reel of stupidness.
I see.
And let me just go back before we move on to something else. The only link I can make for that initial scene where she's splayed out on the bonnet of the car is the fact that they keep talking about children know too much right at the moment. Like they're exposed to too much, and he was already reading porn magazines, this little boy, and I feel like it's some link there, because they're always talking about it. And then this little girl, March's little girl, she knows too much. She knows all about what the porn stars are talking about, and she's trying to get involved in adult business and stuff. And I think that scene is there for that reason. I don't think they need it. I don't think it really does anything for the film. Maybe they just wanted some way to get Misty Mountains into the film, like
Yeah.
physically. But yeah, it was a bit like, why is it so staged?
Yes, it was very stagey.
Yeah.
But you know, like, can you imagine people hating this film?
No, I don't think you could hate it, really. Could you hate it?
I can't imagine hating it. No, I don't. I think it has too much going on for it to hate it. But I can. That's the thing. I think, like, like I said, I couldn't really remember it. So in all our conversations about it, it sounds like I hate it, and maybe I even lead myself to believe before this that I hated it or really disliked it. But that's only because of like this wave of praise for it,
Yeah.
which I feel is really unjustified. I can get it if a couple of people, like if you just told me that you give this a 10, I'd be like, oh, that's cool, he gives that a 10, it really works for him. But for so many people to hold this in such high esteem, it makes me go, hang on, what are you talking about? Because
Do you think it's the Gosling link? Do you think people just love Gosling so
people
much
love
that they just
Gosling
feel
for
like...
sure, 100%. They give it a bly because of that. But I'll tell you
Yeah.
one thing that we haven't spoken about at all, and this is part of the problem, right? One person we haven't spoken about at all, who shares the fucking screen with him, is
Yeah,
Russell
Russell Crowe.
Crowe. And the thing is, because Russell Crowe just turns up and he's a meathead, and that's it. And you'll give it a tiny bit of, oh, he used to drink, so you know he's a bit of an edgy character. He used to drink, and then at the end he's drinking. It's like that's nothing. Crowe turns up and does a perfectly acceptable performance, but there's nothing to him, nothing for me to think about afterwards about it, you know, to really enjoy.
I agree with that.
I'd find someone, if they said they didn't have a fun time watching this film, or you wanted to turn this film off because you were bored, I'd be like, I can't see that. If you maybe didn't like it at the end, whatever, that's so you didn't like it, but I wouldn't say you were bored or you wanted to turn this film off. I can't see someone saying that. But there obviously is going to be people like that, because there's people like that with every film.
Do you know who's great in this though, and don't get her props, is
The daughter.
I don't know how you pronounce her name, Angourie Rice, Gosling's daughter.
Yeah.
She was really good, and it's hard for me to like kids in
Also,
films.
she held her
but
own
she was
against
great.
those two actors as well.
Oh yes, you're right.
Yeah.
And
Most
she made
certainly.
that character her own without just being like Gosling's daughter.
Yeah,
All of that kind
she
of
did.
shit.
One thing that really didn't work for me with her, though, a crucial moment in the film. This is a hitman. He is a killer, a cold-blooded killer. Russell Crowe is about to just finish him off, and she's like,
Oh, yeah.
"Oh, don't be that person." It's like, no, this doesn't feel right. I get it
No.
earlier in the film.
You're trying
it makes
to give
sense for a
Crowe
young,
an arc,
innocent.
aren't you?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that
and
was
that's
the
what it
arc for
was.
Crowe.
It was a forced-in arc for him. It was so signposted all the way. Earlier in the film, when she talks to him after the fact and said, "Did you kill that man?" That makes sense for her to be concerned and be like, "I knew you weren't a bad guy."
Yeah.
That makes sense. To do it so obviously at the end, at that moment, no, come on.
It was almost
It didn't work.
to redeem him, but I don't think he needed redeeming.
He didn't. He needed redeeming in the eyes of a child, maybe. But
Yeah.
we as adults all know that
No, he
actually
was getting
the
his
best
job
thing in
done.
that situation was kill him.
Yeah. It's like, this guy's a fucking horrible person. Kill him. It's like, we
Yes.
don't need to redeem him in our eyes. Children aren't watching this film.
No.
But yeah, I get that with Crowe. I enjoy the way he bounces off of Gosling, but Gosling is everything in this film. He is the comedy. He is the thing that draws me to the film.
Yeah.
I just like that Crowe is this catalyst that kind of brings out this comedy out of Gosling.
Yeah.
Like the scene with him when he says he's got to break his arm. I love
He's
the
a
way that
straight
they two are
man.
bouncing off. Yeah, I love that they're bouncing off each other that way, and he's just this straight down the line. I'm breaking your arm. There's no comedy from him, but the thing that makes it great is Gosling.
Yeah.
And I
Yeah,
like the
yeah.
fact that I like the balance that I don't think Crowe needed to be anything
Other than
He
that.
needed to be the straight guy, I think. To make the comedy
I mean,
work
I
so
agree.
well.
If you've got someone who's silly and over the top with their humour slightly, you need someone to balance it out. I agree, but then I kind of felt like I needed something more from him. They hinted at the fact that he was divorced and that he'd had this alcoholic past. We needed to see a little more of that edge throughout.
But
the
again,
film,
if you
know?
think they were planning to make this film as more than one, they could have delved into that in the next film or something. That might have been like their plan.
I got the impression that they wanted to create something in create another film after this for
Yeah.
sure.
And it also they could have actually probably written that maybe into the second film instead of this film. Like this film's about Gosling, the second one you go into Crow.
I think the funny thing about it as well, it is kind of in the writing that it almost offers the fact that here you can learn something about Crow now. Like the bit where he's opening up about how he was this hero who saved someone in a cafe from and then Gosling's asleep and the story just ends.
Yeah.
And it's like, it's comedy, it's funny, because it's like, we don't care about what you got to say.
Yeah, I know. I get that's yeah. That's I didn't like just snoozing off on the board. I just didn't. It was like, oh come on, man. The silly humor, that worked for me is the toilet, him on the toilet seat, trying to
And
keep
he's
the
like,
gun
there's a
pointed
mirror
on him.
still here.
Yeah, all of that is funny. That's funny. I like that. That's practical. Funny.
I do think that toilet door scene, that was done so well. I bet it doesn't look like it'd be like, it looks like quite a simple scene, right?
Yeah.
I think it's so hard to get that door to swing back and forward the way it did and control it the way he did.
Yeah,
because it was like bouncing it back
That's
and
almost
forth.
kind of where the film starts in some way.
Yeah.
It's like that's the start of their relationship. Then they're not against each other, now they're with each other.
I love that whole segment as well. And he's like, turn around. There's a mirror here. I can see you.
He
It's
goes, I
just
want
like-
you to look. I want you to look.
Yeah, it's like, turn back around. What was your favourite moment, Adam?
What is my favourite moment? I'd probably say the moment I laughed the most is when he's on the car and it spins around.
Okay, yeah.
It's just,
I think that's such a great segment. Like,
and it's so funny because you know it's going to happen, and as soon as you see him hit behind that car, every single time you watch it, you're immediately laughing because maybe the first time you watch it, you don't realise exactly what's about to play out, but
yes,
you just
he's
remember
like, he's
it
got
and
his
you're
eyes
like,
closed.
come on, it's so good. And he gets up and he jumps over the car and he's like, oh shit.
And I love the payoff because it's like the whole film he's falling off of things.
Yeah.
And the Crow's constantly having to go at him like, you didn't just fall, did you? And he's like, yes, I just fell down a hill. And then pretty much the whole last segment where he's trying to get the film reel, he's just falling constantly.
Yeah.
Like he's falling off of roofs, he's falling through windows.
And he
It's
goes,
just like-
I think I'm indestructible. I just think I can't die.
Yeah. I think it will come across as dumb, but I think it is so smart.
It is quite
It is so smart and it's so well written. Like, to have jokes pay off like that.
This could have easily
It
been a
has to be
stupid
clever.
film. It could have easily just
Yeah.
been ridiculous.
I mean, it could have, and it was. I really don't want to feel snooty about this and looking down my nose at it because I enjoyed it. I had a good time with it. I just I don't think that it was anything special on that front. Like I laughed at it as much as I would laughed at like 22 Jump Street, for example. It leaves as much impact on me as that did. Yeah, I had a good time watching it, but
22 Jump Street is more silly comedy in my opinion.
yeah, it is. But I had as good a time watching that as I did this because I wasn't like, if this is a bit more serious with a bit more plot, then your plot needs to be a little bit more engaging and tight. And it wasn't. It constantly felt like we were trying to work out what the conspiracy was, what was actually going on while they were, and as it was moving forward, it was getting more complex and confusing and nonsensical. And I'm really sure if you took all the comedy out of it, not that you would, and not that I want to, because I'm not like that, but if you took all the comedy out of it and just went, right, what's the story, what's the conspiracy here, it just wouldn't add up what was going on. And that's okay in a silly comedy, but in a comedy that tries to be a bit more than that, yeah, you need to be tighter.
Do you know what? I think at the same time it is intentional because you have to think that these two detectives, they're not the best detectives. They're just bumbling along, basically falling upon the clues and stuff, literally falling. And like the bit where
you were waiting
they get
to say
the
that,
note,
weren't you?
like literally get the note of, it says APT, and they're like, is it apartment? Is it the airport?
That was funny.
And they go to the flats, and it's like, oh, it's knocked down. It's not.
Yeah,
even down.
that was funny. Where he thought it was that really redemptive
Yeah.
moment. See, that's clever humour. That's
Yes.
clever. That's
And
clever.
it's like-
and then he's
and
like,
that is-
airport it is then?
half of the time they have false leads.
Yeah.
And they're leading down false roads, and not everything that they try and look at is actually anything to do with what the end result is.
Yeah.
And that's what makes it funny, and that's why it kind of works, because they're supposed to be these idiotic detectives who are trying to understand what the hell's going on, just like we are.
Yeah. It's kind of like, what could you do more with these characters, though? Like, you can't arc these characters anymore, because their arc, if there is an arc in this, is so minimal. There's nowhere else to take them. They weren't built up to be anything more than what they were. A meathead and a bit of an airhead working together. It's almost the Brad Pitt. Gosling's almost the Brad Pitt character from Burn After Reading, although not annoying. This is what Brad Pitt could have been in Burn After Reading.
Do you think it was because of Brad Pitt that you didn't like the Brad Pitt character?
I don't know. I think that's just an annoyingly written character. But Pitt is... When Pitt does a bad performance, he does a bad performance for me. Like Aldo Raine in Inglourious Basterds. I really take against that. And it's like, oh, Pitt, I know how good you are. Why are you doing this? I think Pitt can't do funny. So we've just moved away from Nice Guys. But Pitt can't do funny. And that's why he doesn't work in Inglourious Basterds for me. Because that role is not a serious role. It's a silly role.
Yeah, that's what I want. Yeah, that's what I wanted to distinguish. Whether because I think you have a preconception that you don't like Pitt being funny with Inglourious Basterds as well. And
maybe he just can't do it. If Gosling,
I'm wondering if Gosling was in the
Burn After
role
Reading.
In Burn After Reading. Would that
do you
be
know
any different?
what? I can almost immediately imagine liking that performance more. Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Pitt's
he was
the
an
problem.
annoying character, but Pitt, yeah. I mean, and that's to Gosling's credit, because he is generally a dramatic actor, but then he shows that he can do comedy well, and not everyone
has the
can.
range.
Sometimes they try and branch out from the genre, and it just don't work. Robert De Niro. Okay, he had occasional flashes of brilliance, but that was like king of comedy. As a comedic actor, he is not funny. The humour from him comes from putting him, De Niro, who we know, in so-called funny situations, but he is
Or
not
with
a funny
comedians.
actor.
He would be the
Yeah.
Russell Crowe in this incident.
That doesn't make him funny. He is a really unfunny guy. I can't think of a Pitt film where Pitt makes me laugh.
We're at Once Upon a Time in Hollywood.
It's not really a comedy role, though, is it?
Well,
It's not, but do you remember the first time I watched that, I said how much I disliked Pitt's character in it, and then on second watch, I valued him more. That's because I saw the level in him.
I think he's really good at being like sleek.
I want him to be a Tyler Durden type in most films.
Yeah, that is what he's best at, being that character.
Yeah.
That sleek, like confident, and
You wanna be
like
him kind of guy.
The life of the room kind of thing.
You want to be him. All guys want to be him, and all girls want to be with him.
Yeah, that is what he's good at.
Oh, Lou, come on. We really like this place. What's that from?
Oh, Lou, we really like this place.
Yeah. Come on, Lou. We really like this place. Shut the fuck up. You don't know where I've been, Lou. You don't know where I've been. Are you fucking
Lou.
idiots? This
Lou.
is Fight Club. When
Who's Lou?
Lou is... Who's Lou? Lou's the name on the front of this fucking club. I'm Lou. Who the fuck are you?
Oh, yes.
Jesus.
I can't even think who Lou is.
And one of you has Lou. One of you has Fight Club in the top 10. Adam.
Yes.
Anyway, we've gone off topic.
I don't remember every line of every film I ever watched, Ben.
It is
Why
your
not?
specialty. It is your specialty, Ben.
You just
Why
got
not?
that memory.
The best moment in this film was for me though the moment when they turn up at the party and his daughter is at the trunk and she says there's all whores around here and stuff.
Oh,
and
yeah.
he says I've told you not to talk like that. Don't say and stuff. Just say, Daddy, there are whores here. That's funny. That's funny. But then
It's a good line.
And then in the perfect example of them milking it, she then
She does
repeats
it.
that to someone else and it's like ruined it.
Yeah, she does it to the porn actress. doesn't
Little
she?
and often, yes. Just
Yeah.
like with all the shrieks, the initial Gosling shriek, funny, okay. But have him doing it too much, come on now. Just like
That's
him
fair.
drinking and getting drunk. At first, a little bit funny, and then progressively drinking, and everywhere he goes, he wants a drink. Not funny. And you're doing it, and the trouble is, you're doing it at the sacrifice, and you're sacrificing plot. You should be knitting up this plot at this moment rather than just throwing in another joke that isn't working,
That's fair.
in my opinion.
I don't think that was the film though. They're trying their hardest not to solve the riddles half the time
Yeah,
because
I'm
they're
sure.
just failing themselves.
Listen, I had a good time with it. I enjoyed it while I
Yes.
watched it. I don't really have anything bad to say about it other than it is not a movie that I'm going to be thinking of.
Yeah. What would you think of more? My name is Jeff, or the line "Don't say and stuff."
My name's Jeff. That will always stay with me. And that's. But see, in that situation, that seems silly. My name's Jeff seems silly, but in that situation, it's very funny the way it's been
Yeah.
written. It's very funny. So it works. But
And
you
it's
need more
Tatum.
context for
Tatum had to deliver that line for it to work.
I love which one. You know those Jump Street movies. I enjoy both of them.
Yeah, they're good.
The second one, I can't remember which. I think it's the second one I enjoy more. But anyway,
The second one, the second one's a little bit better, I think.
Second one's My Name's Jeff.
There, that's the one I enjoy more. Is that the one where they go on drugs
He's fucking the captain's
at
daughter.
the school? Oh yeah, yeah. That is then, isn't it? Yeah, that's when they're on drugs at the school because that's like
That's
you
the
say,
first one.
he dates the captain's daughter, Ice Cube's daughter.
No, that's in the second one. He
Do
dates
they
the
go to
captain's
school
daughter.
again?
No, they go to university, don't they, in the second one?
Oh, university. Right.
In the first one, they're on drugs in school.
They were supposed to do a third, wasn't it? And they were going to be doctors.
Oh, maybe
or
it's the
something.
first one I liked then. I can't remember. Anyway, they're both good.
Yeah. Anyway,
They're
this is
both
not
good
about
and
Jump
as good
Street.
as The Nice Guys.
Well, there you go. But we didn't actually go down this road. But you were talking about getting more story out of these characters if they're going to do more. And I agree, their arcs are kind of over. The arc of Russell Crowe was to find some humanity. He found a bit of humanity by the end,
And he found a bottle at the end of it.
He did.
I like actually that he became an alcoholic again at the end, because traditionally you're an alcoholic at the beginning, and then at the
Yes.
end you've sobered up, cleaned up. That's your arc.
Yes,
He's goes the
yes.
other way.
Well, maybe
I like that.
that's his next arc. He's got to come off the drink again.
He put on a lot of weight for this film. We were watching it, and
Well-
like, did Russell Crowe just let himself go? And he's
Watch
like, yeah,
Unhinged and then tell me if he's let himself go in this one.
I feel like he's not been able to shake the weight since
These
he
were his
put it on.
divorce years, aren't they?
Oh, there you go. Was he going through a divorce? So that makes a lot of sense then.
I'm eating because I'm unhappy, and I'm unhappy because I eat.
Amen, brother.
And then yes, Gosling just wanted to be happy. That is the whole his arc, isn't it? So he drinks.
And provide for his daughter.
Yeah, provide for his daughter, be successful in the eyes of his daughter, who always sort of saw him as a bit of a joke.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm just having a look here now down. Oh, please stop. Cars honking out the window. Will you stop? When I look out
Stop
the
it.
window here, when I look down the catalogue here, in terms of ones that I've seen, the only film by Gosling that I've seen other than this where could be considered a comedy is Lars and the Real Girl, and that was very indie, and
Oh,
he just played himself.
Yeah.
He didn't play it.
I don't think I've seen it. I remember wanting to watch it, but I don't think I ever saw it.
So that's the one where he orders a sex doll.
The Steve Carell one's a comedy, isn't it? But he kind of plays it straight again in that.
Crazy Stupid Love.
Yeah.
I haven't seen it yet. I've got it on my watch list. Is it any good?
I remember there being something funny in it, but I can't remember what it is.
I remember
Like
watching
something
that
that
film
sticks
years
out as
ago
being
and I
really
can't
funny.
remember much about it.
But see, yeah, you know, like, I mean, he's great. He did well at comedy, and in the right hands, I'm sure he would do another great comedy again. But I just worry that in the wrong hands, it would not play very well, because
Yeah.
he was good. He was good. It was all fine, boys. It's fine. There's no shame.
Put that
from
on the
here.
poster.
I'm
It's
sure
all
that
fine.
Julio is very upset with me right now, because I know that Julio was excited to
Tear this
hear
film
me
down.
tear this down a bit. But the truth is, Julio, I was as well, and then I didn't really have too many legs to stand on to do so, other than it's ordinary. And maybe sometimes that is the biggest insult you can level at something. Why be ordinary in
very
a world
insulting,
of
yes.
fantastic things?
In the world of extraordinary.
Very
Well,
much
there
so.
you go. And there you go, Julio. That's just for you. Is that it?
I think that's
I
it
think
for me.
so.
It is.
I think
well,
so.
well done. And you know what? Thanks for putting it on the radar again, Adam, because it made me watch it. And now, unlike the first time, I watched it, forgot about it, and thought I hated it. Now I know that I watched it, I enjoyed it, and that's it. I'll just go, oh yeah, I enjoyed
Would
that
you ever
movie.
watch again?
No.
If
There'd be
Jenny
no
went
need.
to you in like a year's time, or should you watch Nice Guys? You'd be like,
No.
You'd
Be like,
move
we
on.
watched that last year.
Let me just say 2 moments that I just want to say to fix it in history of Filmbusters.
Yeah.
One, I've already mentioned the scene where he's trying to find his ankle gun.
In the
After the
car
dream.
when he's asleep.
Yeah, but in the scene down the line where he's trying to find it, and he's like, "Where's your ankle gun?" And he's like, "What are
Yeah.
you talking about?"
Yeah.
I think that's so funny. It makes me laugh. It makes me laugh seeing that scene and thinking about that in the future of that's going to happen. But really funny that I think is so fucking funny is when he smashes the window.
well,
And
the
he just
beginning.
cuts his wrist open.
oh my god, that is funny. Yeah.
So funny.
So do you know
What,
what?
the beginning of the film?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
When that happened, I'd totally forgotten about it, but I was immediately like, oh shit, I was so wrong about this film. This is going to be brilliant. Because I was so brought in from there. I was like, this is funny, man.
When he,
Yeah.
I love how like he's getting his hand ready to like smash through, and he's like proper like wrapping the material around, and then
You're right. Yeah, actually, that is the funniest moment in the film.
so
That and
fucking funny.
that and the and stuff moment. There was great.
Yes.
There was good stuff in it. There was great stuff in it. But yeah,
fantastic.
yeah. Well done. All good.
All
it's all
good.
gravy. It's all gravy.
Well, should we move on to some Letterboxd reviews?
Oh yes,
Oh, yes.
let's hear them.
Right, yes, I've gone on Letterboxd and found 3 reviews from very distinctly different ratings. I have a 10, a 6, and a 2 out of 10 from different people. So
Interesting.
it's going to be very diverse and interesting to see what they have to say. The first one is from Lily, and she gives it a 10 out of 10. She said, "Man, I fucking love this. I feel like if I rewatch this film, it would end up in my favourite movies list. It was so fucking good. I love the style of it. Whenever a film is set in the 70s, it always works for me. The whole vibe of this movie was fucking fantastic and just an awesome viewing experience. I absolutely adored every second. Plus, we get a DILF Ryan Gosling."
Very potty mouth over there.
Very. We love it.
Yes.
We embrace it.
Yes, absolutely.
A DILF.
A DILF. Yeah. Well, I mean, is
Easily.
he? I wouldn't call him that because he's like I suppose
He's
you
an
can.
attractive man.
You
He's
could
a
be
dad,
a
isn't
dad
he?
at
He's a
any
dad.
point. You could be a dad at 18. Does that make you a DILF?
Yeah,
I think I
because you're
really
a
feel
dad.
like when you're saying DILF and MILF, you're talking. I would say 40 plus. Personally, I think that's what the criteria is.
How old
Yeah,
is
you'll
Gosling?
talk with someone in that age. Just
Well, I don't think he's
I'd probably
40
say it's
yet,
like
is he?
late 30s.
Certainly not in this
Close.
film.
Yeah, I guess so.
I think she actually means the fact he's the dad in the film.
Yeah.
Well, maybe. Let me tell you how old Ryan Gosling is, because otherwise I'll get
He's
annoyed.
62.
Wow, look at that, 62, man. Ryan Gosling, when he made this, was my age that I am now,
Oh, well.
35.
You just revealed your age. Again. 2 times in a year.
Do you care, Ben?
That's okay. That's okay. They can know that I'm old and creasely.
Creased.
Creased. Let's hear from Dick Tugnuts, Adam.
The next review here is from Dick Tugnuts. Yes, Dick Tugnuts. And they gave the film a 6 out of 10. And they go on to say, "I know I'm a big Ryan Gosling fan, but he's the only reason I watched this. He carries this movie on his shoulders. Crow looks bored. The plot is all over the place. It could have been a better and a fun movie. Gosling is absolutely hilarious in this."
How did you say Brian?
Crying. I don't know how I said that.
I mean, I kind of...
It's a little bit like how you feel.
yes, that's accurate. That's what I mean.
Yeah.
He's that's kind of it, yeah.
They've just
Gosling
taken a
isn't
harsh...
absolutely hilarious in it, though. He's
Yeah, they've
very
just
good.
taken a...
Do you think Crow looks
They've just
bored?
taken a harsher turn.
I think, he's
that's
trying.
wrong. Crow doesn't look bored. Crow's enjoying
I feel
this.
like he's just his character.
I do feel like he's in it and he's like, oh, I'm doing a comedy. That's what I feel he feels like.
True. I wouldn't say he's bored. I think Crow would look back on this film and go, yeah, like that one, proud of that one.
Yeah.
When these two were on Graham Norton promoting it, what's that guy's name? Greg. What's that comedian, Adam? The one
Greg
from
Davies?
Yeah, Greg Davies tells a story about when he shits himself at school, and it is funny. It's a funny story anyway. It is told very well, but Gosling Gosling cannot contain himself. He is cracking up, and then they get Russell Crowe to crack up with a story and you can just tell, okay, these two guys really like each other as well and have a good sense of humour. So it works.
That's nice.
The best one, the best Ryan Gosling one is when he's on This Morning with Alison Hammond and Harrison Ford.
I know that is funny, but actually, watch the Graham Norton one. I think he's really.
Yeah, I want to watch that. They
Very
seem like
funny.
nice guys.
Oi.
Way.
Let's have the last review here from Martin Braunton, hopefully I pronounced that right, who give it a 2 out of 10 and said, "Oh dear, here's a prime entry in the most disappointing film of the year category. Unfunny and frustratingly dumb black comedy. More knockabout spoofball than half-decent thriller. Couldn't wait for this to be over. Annoyingly bad. Just please I didn't waste my time in the cinema watching this nonsense." Well, that's very harsh.
Well, people
Yes.
can hate this film.
People can hate it. I mean, unfunny and frustratingly dumb. I mean, it's not unfunny for me. If it is for him, that's the way it is. Frustratingly dumb. I wouldn't say it's frustratingly dumb. There's dumb moments. And yeah, it is knockabout spoofball more than a thriller. That's true.
I can understand that if people don't like this kind of humour, like at all, like
Yeah.
I know you can probably tolerate it a bit, Ben, but if people really don't like stupid, like kind of dumb comedy, then they're really turning against it because that's
That's right.
what it is.
Yeah. I suppose so. But people need to have a good time as well. Comedies is it. I'm not anti-comedy. If you're going to watch something like this, you know you're not watching it because it's a thriller. It's marketed as a comedy. So
Like Paul when he was bloody watching Reanimator and didn't get enough gore.
gore, yes. And actually, do you know what? Reanimator is a good comparison because it gave Paul what he wanted and not me what I wanted.
Yes.
Whereas in this, I could have enjoyed a little more focus on plot. Not too much though. I'm aware what kind of film it is. It's nothing like Reanimator actually.
I think it is in the fact that I want the silliness over the seriousness, where you're the opposite.
That's right. That's our
That is what I
personalities
think is.
anyway.
Yes, that's why we love each other so much, because opposites attract.
Opposites attract. Right, shall we place this? Shall we place this?
Yes, let's place it.
Listen, listeners, we're going to do everything live for you because this is a momentous moment. We were just about to work out where this film places in our charts. We realised the average is out at 8.7, and that means it could crack into our top 10 of all time on this podcast, but it would have to take top spot above all these other films that are currently on 8.7. So let's work from the bottom up, boys. So in bottom place, Uncut Gems.
Beats it.
Oh, it's better.
That's 2 out of 3. So gotta go up.
Yeah, I mean, well, look, I'm out of it because I think all
Yeah.
of these films are better than
Oh, yeah, true.
Nice Guys. So it's
Very
between
true.
you two. John Wick, Chapter 3.
Beats it.
Beats it.
Really? Nocturnal Animals.
It's gonna stop. It's gonna stop here because Adam's not gonna have that. It beats Nocturnal Animals for me.
Oh. It's...
Wow. What's he going to do? Will the pressure... And Adam, just so you know, the next film up, the one... So don't feel like you have to put it above Nocturnal Animals to get it in the top 10, because the film above this, in order for it to make the top 10, is 3 Billboards. So work it out. Is it better than either of them?
It's not beating Nocturnal Animals.
Well,
There we go.
12th
So,
place.
listeners, 12th place. You heard it. Very close. Good effort, nice guys.
That's
But
good.
you're in the top 20, which is still a good bracket. And what you've actually done is push Bacurau out of our top 20.
Look at that.
Ooh.
And Blues Brothers now
Bacurau's
occupies
sad.
the 20th spot. But that was good. That was exciting. Almost went there. When was the last film we had? When was the last time we had a film crack the top 10?
I know it's been ages. One Night in Miami, probably, isn't it?
Yeah. One Night in Miami.
That wasn't
One
even
Night
live. That was
Miami.
done after the fact.
No, we did One Night in Miami in
Yeah, but Paul
October.
added his rating on afterwards.
yeah, but it didn't change because he gave it the same rating as we all did.
Mm.
Oh, okay.
Very sorry, everyone. I posted our call to patrons very late in the day, only a couple of hours before we recorded. So I didn't give our patrons enough time to suggest anything. But Julio just snuck in there 25 minutes ago to say, And he also excused my delay because he said, I'd be that way too if I'd had to sit through The Nice Guys again. Little glimpse into how Julio feels again. He says, anyway, I'm past the deadline, but for what it's worth, you're not. Here you go. In the Heights was great, and I can't wait to watch it again. A must for anyone who liked Hamilton and anyone who loves musicals, really. I have seen the trailer for it, and I feel like it could annoy me. I feel like Hamilton is
looks
magic.
a bit too much.
It does look...
West Side
yeah.
Story, it looks like.
But then I
That's
haven't
what
seen
gives
West Side
that vibe.
Story, so I can't really judge that. But this looks... I don't know. If the songs were as good as Hamilton, then great.
Zoe's looking forward to it, so I'll probably end up watching it.
Well,
And she's
I-
very
I-
excited for
I'll
it.
watch it. If it's Lin-Manuel Miranda, I'm sure it'd be very good. Julio likes it. There you go. That's enough.
That's what we need.
Cheers, Julio. We'll check it out. We'll check that out. Anyway, getting back to me,
Oh, yes.
I haven't decided what film. I did a short list of 3, right?
Okay.
And I have real trouble deciding which it's going to be. So much like Adam did last time, I'm going to give you rough things for you to indicate which one I should go with. So, the first one requires you both to purchase it because it is not available to stream anywhere. So you would have
Okay.
to buy the disc.
Right.
The second one you've both seen and is a long film. And the third one you've both seen and is a sequel. So out of them 3, you decide, because I'm happy to do any of the 3.
Can we ask 3 questions each
Yes.
about how we're going to decide? Okay. My first question is, have we done the first film of the sequel?
No.
Okay. My second question is, because I didn't hear what you said, have we both seen the one we have to purchase?
No, neither of you have seen the one you have to purchase.
Okay. And my third question is... Oh, no, I can't ask that. I was about to say, which one do you like most?
Oh, yeah, I can't tell you that.
The one... What is the genre of the one we have to purchase?
I'm not sure. I've
Have you seen the
struggled
one?
to say.
Have you seen
Give
it?
us a rough genre for every film.
I have seen it. So a rough genre for every film. So that one that I can't really put a genre on, I guess I would call... I don't know. It's so hard. I don't know. It defies
I'm just
genre.
intrigued by that one.
I know. Sorry. The second one is, let's say, erotic thriller, perhaps, and the third one, horror.
Erotic thriller.
Yeah, maybe not. Maybe erotic thriller. I think yes.
Adam, what are you feeling right now?
I don't know. I'm thinking the sequel or the one we have to buy.
All right. So the erotic thriller's out. So I'm going to tell you what you discounted.
Okay.
What?
It was Eyes Wide Shut.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
I'm quite happy about that.
Okay.
Sure
I don't
you
reckon
are.
I could sit.
Yeah,
through
I'm
that
not.
one again.
I wouldn't be blown away by that pick. That's
All right.
fine.
So, do you want to spend a little money and go for something that I can't
How much
define?
money
Well,
as well?
I haven't even checked that, actually, so that's a good point. Let me just quickly have a look here.
Before we
and
commit.
see. Yes, that is a point, because it's also potentially the kind of film that might not easy.
It is not
to-
on streaming services. They normally tend to be like quite a bit, don't they?
Yeah, and in fact, it's unfair to make you boys spend...
No, I'm happy to spend a bit, but I don't want to spend loads.
Depends
It's
how-
like a tenner.
If it's like
Okay.
a region 1 that's going to come in like 3 weeks.
Yeah, I'm going to take a punt, and I'm not going to... I'm not going to do that one.
Okay.
Because it will
Okay.
take too long and it is a bit expensive, and I'll figure out a way for us to do that in the future, so I won't tell you what that one is yet.
Okay.
So I'm actually very glad to say that the film we're going to be covering is a film that I watched so much when I was growing up, and
Okay.
that probably gives away how I feel about it, but I won't say too much more about my feelings on it. I haven't seen it in like 15 years, but it is often overlooked and not spoken about, and when it is spoken about, it's spoken about in very poor terms, but I think there is a lot going for it, and it's
I'm
done
interested.
very, very well. You've both seen it before, and we are going to be covering
Oh.
Jaws 2.
Wow! Okay.
Ooh, okay.
Jaws
Yeah.
2.
Nice.
All
Nice.
right.
I like.
Down for that.
All right.
I kind of want to do the first Jaws as well now. Just
I
have a
know,
collection.
but it just Jaws is just so, like there's so much to say on it, and
I
it's like
know.
everyone knows Jaws, and this is what's good. Everyone knows Jaws already. We don't even
Yeah.
need to cover it,
Yes,
or
it's
don't even
true.
need a refresher on it. We know what Jaws is like. Jaws 2, many people won't have seen it. Some people have seen it and dismissed it, and other people will have seen it and enjoyed it. And I kind of want to go in, like, obviously we're not going to be picking apart layers and stuff in it, but I kind of want to go in and go, all right, as a sequel to a very successful film, horror film, how does it actually stand up? Should we be dismissing it? Like, how good is it?
I'm up for that. Definitely.
There you go. And you can get it on streaming, I think, for like, you have to rent it, but it's like £2 or something.
That's cool.
Jaws 2, excellent.
Fantastic pick.
Our first shark movie on the podcast.
No, second. We done the Meg.
We've got the Meg.
Oh shit! Well, good, because there's no way it's going to be lower than the Meg.
You could just hold that thought. It's the first shark film we've done.
Yes, because that one was a megalodon rather than a great white.
Oh, very true. Very true. I'm excited for Jaws 2.
I'm excited for Jaws 2. When was the last time you boys saw it? Would you say? I reckon Adam's seen it recently on his.
About a year ago, I want to say.
Really? Fucking hell!
No, ages ago for me.
Yeah, ages ago. Ages and ages.
Probably, I wouldn't be surprised if it's been over 10 years.
There you go. For me, it definitely is. I think, yeah, maybe 10 years. I can't remember watching it since I've been with Jenny, so it's got to be over 10 years. I think it's like 15 years or something like that.
Well, fantastic. Thank you guys for listening to the Nice Guys episode. I very much enjoyed talking about it. Thank you for picking it, Adam.
I've just checked my notes for this film and I've realised I've written The Good Guys at the top instead of Nice Guys. It was about the Chucky dolls.
Fantastic.
Tales Busters.